Welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Tuesday, you know, the 2nd of July, 2013. I just have a couple of articles here I just wanted to share with you today. Um, One is front page of WND.com. Kaboom! Now black mobs kill 4th of July. People traveling from city to city just causing problems. This is by Colin Flaherty. I'm going to have to read his editor's note so that you guys know very well. I think anyone with common sense knows, but I just need to, read it anyway. Editor's note. Colin Flaherty has done more reporting than any other journalist on what appears to be a nationwide trend of skyrocketing black-on-white crime, violence, and abuse. WND features these reports to counterbalance the virtual blackout by the rest of the media due to their concerns that reporting such incidents would be inflammatory or even racist. WND considers it racist not to report racial abuse solely because of the skin color of the perpetrators or victims. Video linked and embedded maintained. Just a lot of links on this. If you want to go look, it's WND.com. 4th of July done for thanks to black mobs. Front page at WND.com. I'll read a little bit of this. I haven't heard anything about this, so I'll just read it. But I report the real news, you gotta report real news so that people stay informed about what's going on. Because if you trust in some people, they're not telling you anything. The threat of a repeat of black mob violence on the 4th of July is causing at least 3 cities to cancel their annual Independence Day fireworks party. Well, America's pretty much dead, so why not the 4th of July? I mean, it's really not even a day that I remember as, oh, we have our independence. Nobody thinks about that. It's always about, hey, let's blow something up. It's cool, it's fun. Who doesn't like to blow stuff up for just the sake of, harmless fireworks? But it's definitely not a day where we feel like we're empowered people or anything. You don't get that feel anymore. Let's see. Black mob violence has marred for several years the annual holiday celebrations in the Cleveland suburb of Bedford, almost none of which made its way to the local media. But the city council heard an earful from local residents following last year's holiday violence. They reported that 50 to 80 black people were hitting people in the face and disrupting the festival and surrounding areas. Police officers used paper ball pellets and a taser, said city council minutes from a special meeting in August 2012. Even the Walmart and Get-Go store had to be closed for 3 hours. The mayor was shocked. The mayor was shocked by what he had witnessed, said the minutes. The mayor assured the audience that Bedford was not the only city that had these types of problems. People were traveling from city to city just causing problems. Because Bedford no longer had a daily newspaper, the city sent a code red message warning residents of the violence and lawlessness that was out of control at their event. 3 surrounding police agencies were called in to quell the violence. The fire chief said his people were not armed or trained for this kind of activity. Some of the residents complained of political correctness that prevented them from talking about what really happened. City manager Henry Angelo did not deny that black mobs were responsible for the violence, but he did say it was contemptuous that anyone would notice. In 2009, Bedford went through the same public examination after similar violence the year before, said one local columnist at Cleveland.com. But there was an elephant in the room that was only barely acknowledged, and it had nothing to do with money, nor the residents of Bedford Heights. Following the fireworks display in 2008, groups of teenagers, many from Maple Heights, Warrensville Heights, and Cleveland, started fights and incidents that some who were there said was tantamount to a riot. I don't even know what that means. But Bedford is known as the home of Archibald MacNeil Willard, the artist who created the iconic 5 and drum painting Spirit of 76. But in the end, even Willard could not save the fireworks of Bedford, and the city council canceled it after deciding it was just too dangerous. After Cleveland suburb Shaker Heights also canceled 4th of July fireworks. There have been problems in maintaining order and dealing with huge numbers of young people who have shown up through social media at the fireworks and who have been disruptive, said the mayor Earl Lycan to the Shaker Heights Patch. Derek Abbott lives near the Shaker Heights Trouble, he told the Patch. The last 2 years, the streets have been littered with trash. A ton of teenagers have been acting unruly, and I've heard stories of fighting in people's yards. I think the problem is that every other community canceled their fireworks while we kept ours. In one news story at the Cleveland Plain Dealer, a reader was frustrated that the paper had not reported the riot. My daughter and I will not be back next year. Daddy, why are all the kids screaming, swearing and fighting? Because their parents didn't raise them any better, honey. Nothing better to see police in riot gear riding on the outside of a SWAT van as the fireworks celebrating our freedom from the English rule rush toward a crowd of idiots. Then police officers telling people that are there to watch the fireworks that they have to leave. But I thought that the police would put an end to that. I was wrong. Over at the Cleveland Patch, Steve Smith had a similar experience. It's not fear-mongering to say that these people created a real dangerous environment. Linda Jenkins told the Patch, "We were patient and scared. It was so sad to see families sitting along the sidewalks trying to have a wonderful and traditional outing for most of us to be placed in the middle of madness. That's what it felt like to me." The year before, Shaker Heights had a similar experience. A few weeks after the event, a columnist for the Plain Dealer got around to writing, "We are watching fireworks on July 4th in Shaker Heights. The only fireworks we saw were in the sky, but in another area, kids were wild. Some 500 or 1,000 showed up in a flash mob. Harmless fun. Not to the teen who ended up with a broken jaw." On Twitter, a black woman from Cleveland who goes by the handle @Coke216 had another perspective on Shaker Heights 2012. "Yo, I got attacked by racist cops and attack dogs yesterday, 'cause N *** wanted to start a riot at the fireworks. LOL. In a story 5 months after the riot, David Moore told the Plain Dealer, "What was once a pleasant event has now become a pitched battle at the west end of the show. The point is that the 2012 fireworks were a disaster, and we can't do much more to enhance security." This article goes on and on. Let me see if I have time to read it. But anyways, yeah, this isn't good. Not good at all. And I kind of see it from the mainstream media there, and I'm not fear-mongering either. I just want to report what I see. Is that I think that the mainstream media lately has been trying to push violence toward white people, and I'm not just delusional. I don't watch. I see it on David Letterman. Jamie Foxx will come out and say, and he usually does all the time. He makes racist comments all the time, but he's a comedian, right? So he could say whatever he wants. It's all fun and games, but in reality, people really believe this. They really mean it. Like when they hear it, they're like really like, that's their chief. That's the smartest person. That's like God to them. They don't know anyone smarter. They don't pay attention to anyone smarter. But anyway, there's ghetto people in every single type of race, man. I'm not talking about any type of particular person. I'm just talking about if you're stupid. That's how you usually are. In a story 5 months after the riot, David Moore told the Plain Dealer, "It was once a pleasant event. It has now become a pitched battle at the west end of the show." Oh yeah, I already read that. The point is that the 2012 fireworks were a disaster, and we can't do much more to enhance security. Bedford and Shaker Heights were not the first cities in Ohio to cancel their fireworks because of the racial violence. Just the latest prior to this year, Euclid and Warrensville Heights also canceled their celebrations after extended experiences with violence. Shaker Heights had enough. This year, they said no more. So did the residents of the Minneapolis suburb of Richfield. Black mob violence had plagued that city's Independence Day party since 2006, said Police Chief Todd Sandel. According to MSSun.com, police responded to significant gang activity the night of July 4th at Veterans Park, the site of the carnival. According to the memo, 9 street gangs were identified in the park as Richfield police responded to 19 calls for service that included disorderly conduct, assault, and weapons violations. You see all this, it's really fun and sexy to do all this stuff, you guys. But do you see what it really does, like in the big picture of things? you're just being a pawn to bigger people who are a lot smarter than you and are the real gangbangers are really the ones that are planning all of this stuff, and you are their pawns when you do this kind of stuff. They like you. They really do. That's why they cater to you. That's why they, even though, you got super talentless idiots like Lil Wayne, they'll make him the very top of the pyramid. They'll make him like, hey, that's the guy. He's on everything, it's just, even though I don't even think he deserves it, He's just put there. He's your idol. So he's like, there you go. But as these and other cities cancel their fireworks and surrounding parties, other cities such as Baltimore are gearing up to prepare for the annual violence. The Baltimore Inner Harbor has been the site of black mob violence during the holidays for years. State legislator Pat McDonough called on the governor last year to declare the unscale Inner Harbor a N-Go zone because of black mob violence. This year, the city is in the midst of a record-breaking crime wave, and the police are promising a dramatic increase in presence. Oh no. See? In presence through July 4th, said the Baltimore Sun. See, that's what you don't want. That's what you're doing. You're making the police get all super military on you. And that's, alright, you guys. You're going to be the ones that, you're setting yourselves up. Ditto at Fort Lauderdale. The city experienced unprecedented black mob violence at the boardwalk over the Memorial Day weekend, and now the city has tripled the number of officers normally assigned to the beach, said City Commissioner Dean Trentalis. Be assured, the city is ready for the 4th of July. Last year, Chris Rock began the holiday with an explosive tweet. Happy white people's Independence Day. The slaves were free, but I'm sure they enjoyed fireworks. They've been dragging on the tailcoats of the slavery that happened to their forefathers, and probably not even all of their forefathers, but that entitlement is what makes them believe and think that they have an excuse for not obeying, for not having responsibility. You tell yourself that you're nothing, and you will become nothing in 5 years' time. It all has to do with how you look at yourself and not being down on, and that's a total negative way of being, thinking you have an excuse for not being responsible. That night, more than a dozen cities, including Chicago, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Columbus, Albany, Georgia, Waco, Peoria, Greensboro, Peoria, experienced large-scale black mob violence. Some of the fireworks were canceled because before they were over, some of the crowds shot fireworks at the police. The 4th of July violence of 2012 is documented in White Girl Bleed a Lot, the return of racial violence, and how the media ignored it. So, that was a pretty lengthy article, but it's just pointing to something that's really going on for people that watch the mainstream media and don't ever see this. They don't tell you this stuff, you guys. That's for a reason. They are using that to be like the hooligans that England did over there. It's like they're there to terrorize all the law-abiding citizens that mind their own business and are good people that work hard, and they don't make excuses for anything that they feel like they lack. And if you're a Christian, you lack nothing. Praise the Lord. Everything's good. You know what I mean? We don't live by any type of excuse or negativity of our past. That's all. If you have a past that's bad, dude, if you feel guilty for something you've done, you know that you've been forgiven. So don't walk around with your head down. Just be conscious that you are forgiven and that everything's fine, and that you can move forward and learn how to grow, learn from your mistakes and achieve and overcome. And I'm not talking to any specific type of people at all either. No matter if it's coming from some certain people, it doesn't matter to me. You won't fix this type of thing in politics, but you can fix it in just a good lesson with like a good morality. Like just having a good mind, an open mind to what is going on and how to fix it. Not just be. Not just go along with this because it's not good. It's not good for anyone. It's gonna turn on you. You could think like you're on a winning side, that it's all favored toward you, and that you feel like you're doing something that's righteous. But this particular thing that you're doing, it's gonna come back on you. Nobody cares about you. They're just using you to weed out all the good people. But that's whatever. You know what I mean? So. Anyways, if you guys have never heard me before, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm about to make another video. I have one more piece of news here today before I close it up. So, see you guys later. God bless.